Instrumentalists were the first, launched the first scholarly attack on essentialism, on the idea of age-old animosities. Ages-old animosities. The core idea of institutionalism is that ethnicity is neither inherent in human nature, nor is it valued as an identity per se. Right? That is the idea of no intrinsic value of Muslimness or Tamilness, etc. Ethnicity masks a deeper core of interests which are either economic or political. Ethnicity is useful for gaining political power or drawing resources from the state. It is instrumentally useful. Intrinsic usefulness or intrinsic worth is not the driver of conflict. What drives the conflict is the political use of ethnicity or its economic use. Conflicts take place because leaders strategically manipulate ethnicity for the sake of political power or for the sake of economic gain. So it's also an argument which heavily relies on elite manipulation. Hatreds may exist, they say we don't care. That doesn't explain. Animosities may exist, that doesn't explain per se. It is the mobilization of that by political elites for their own purposes which explains the conflict. So there is politics here. This is not a politics-free argument. So, this line of reasoning, does it run into some difficulties? Yes, it does. First problem, leaders may find it useful. Why do masses respond to leaders? We need an account for why do masses respond to leaders. Right? Especially because there are two reasons which would tell you why masses would not easily participate. One is the so-called collective action problem. So here is the problem. This is what is called collective action problem. First of all, first thing that the collective action problem says, that literature says, is that what is in my interest as an individual would be different from what is in the interest of the group. There is a distinction drawn between individual interest and group interest. First point. Why is this true? That leads to the second point. Why is this true? It's true because any self-interested individual, and the assumption is most of us are self-interested, or all of us are self-interested, any self-interested individual would like the benefits of group action. If a group is mobilized, right, and government gives some, let's say, or government gives some special concessions as a result of group mobilization. Yes, I would like the benefits, but as a self-interested individual, I would not like to pay the costs. I would like to reap the benefits, but not pay the costs. This is also called free rider problem. I'd like a free ride. It's not that I'm opposed to group action, I just don't want to participate in it. I just want its benefits, not the costs of participation. And if everyone feels this way, then collective action will not take place or would be very weak. This is a collective action problem. So leaders might see some benefit in mobilizing ethnicity. Why I, as part of the ethnic group, would respond to that? I would like to get the benefit, not pay the cost. You may find this idea very odd if you're morally driven or ethically driven, if you have a community orientation. But there is a whole individual literature based on individual interests or individual as a unit of analysis, which believes in this. We would like to cheat. But cheating is not, that's not what they call it. They call it rational behavior. What moralists or ethically driven people would call cheating, they call simply rational conduct. Right? Rational conduct. Now comes the third point, which makes it even more complicated. Namely, to say that leaders mobilize ethnicity, for their own gain is too simple a problem, because not just masses, but leaders also take inordinate risks when they mobilize. What's the example? Salt March. What was Salt March? Indians know what was Salt March. It seemed like civil disobedience, or my mother was not young enough at that point, and she did go to jail during the Quit India movement. As a 16-year-old, she went to jail at that time, my deceased mother. And, the way she describes it seems like it was some kind of festival, that going to jail was an act of pilgrimage, and all 16-year-old girls went there during Quit India movement. And what did you do, mother? Oh, we played songs, we sang, we did sewing, we read together, and after 3 months the British got sick of us and released all of us. They didn't even charge us in court. So there's some document is available that she was in jail, right, with all girls of Raghunath Girls College. All girls, all of you, I said, all of us went to jail. It could not be true. In complete silence, the Gandhi men drew up. Gandhi had already been in jail by that time, right? Somebody else was leading this. Gandhi men drew up and halted 100 yards from the stockade. A picked column advanced from the crowd, waded the ditches, approached the barbed wire stockade. Police officials ordered the marchers to disperse. The column silently ignored the warning and kept walking. Suddenly, at a word of command, scores of police rushed upon the advancing marchers and rained blows on their heads with their steel-shod clubs, lathis. These were not lathis with a steel club, with a steel top, right? Not one of the marchers even raised an arm to fend off the blows. They went down like 10 pins. From where I stood, I heard the sickening whacks of the clubs on unprotected skulls. In 2 or 3 minutes, the ground was quilted with bodies. Although everyone knew that within a few minutes he would be beaten down, perhaps killed, I detected no signs of wavering or fear. The marchers simply walked forward until struck down. There were no outcries, simply groans. I went back to the temporary hospital to examine the wounded. I counted 320 injured, many still insensible with fractured skulls, others writhing in agony. This was in the right. What is the showing? Actually, there's some lead. Gandhi is already in jail. Other leaders are also walking and being felled. Then they have hundreds of people who are walking silently. They all felled. Each column falls or is felled. Then the other column moves, and this goes on. These are inordinate risks. These are risks of incarceration, severe injury, and death. And even then, people do this. People participate in such mobilization. So any rational accounts say that neither leaders should be taking inordinate risks nor the masses. Risks can be taken, but not inordinate risks. This kind of value-driven behavior, this kind of principled behavior is not rational according to instrumentalism. It's a problem for them. Gandhi is a very big problem. Now, of course, they can say, we cannot explain everything. Gandhi is an exception. The claim that we are making is, this is not, Gandhi was an exception, all right. Mandela was an exception. We can find so many people in the world who are not Gandhi and Mandela, who are willing to take extraordinary risks for the sake of some values.